Hello everyone. Today we will install the Raspberry Pi OS onto the Raspberry Pi. So the Raspberry Pi OS is previously called Raspbian. It is developed by Raspberry Pi Foundation and Debian operating system. So Debian is the flavor of the Linux. So that's why it is called Raspbian OS. Previously it is called Raspbian OS. Right now the new name of this Raspberry Pi OS. This is the official operating system for the Raspberry Pi boards. So we have to install the Raspberry Pi OS into the memory card. So how can we install Raspberry Pi OS into the memory card? For that we have to install Raspberry Pi Imager software. So then this is the first step. We will install Raspberry Pi OS into the memory card with the help of Raspberry Pi Imager. Then there is a memory card jack back to the Raspberry Pi. There is in back side you will get a jack for the memory card, like this. In the picture you are seeing there is a jack is there. So what are the hardware requirement? For that you need a laptop, you need a Raspberry Pi board, you need a memory card, you need a USB-C power supply 15 watt if you have board Raspberry Pi 4. If you have board Raspberry Pi 3, then you need micro USB cable, and that power supply is approx 10 volt, and you need a memory card reader also. The software requirement, if we say, you need to install the Raspberry Pi Imager, you need to install the Putty software, and you have to install the VNC Wear software also. These are the three software you have to install into your laptop. So right now we are using Raspberry Pi in headless mode, means we do not require any monitor, keyboard, mouse separately. Without this, only using this laptop we can use the Raspberry Pi OS. So how we install? So how to install Raspberry Pi OS into a memory card? By using Raspberry Pi Imager. So this is the Raspberry Pi OS. We will install into the memory card. The software is Raspberry Pi Imager. So now we will install the Raspberry Pi Imager into our laptop. By using this software, we will install the Raspberry Pi OS into the memory card. So this is our first step. So now we will install the Raspberry Pi Imager software. So for that, open the Google and write Raspberry Pi Imager, and this is the first website, www.raspberrypi.com software. Just open this website. So when you open this website, this is the Raspberry Pi OS official operating system. So your Raspberry Pi needs an operating system to work with. So Raspberry Pi, it is previously called Raspbian, is their official supported operating system. So we will install Raspberry Pi OS using Raspberry Pi Imager. So Raspberry Pi Imager is the quick and easy way to install Raspberry Pi OS and other operating system to micro card, that is the micro SD card. So we have to install Raspberry Pi Imager. For Windows, this is the option download for Windows, this is the download for Mac OS, and is the download for Ubuntu for x86 architecture. So right now we are using Windows operating system. For that we will click on download for Windows. So now it is downloading the Imager software. The version number is 1.7.3. so this is now downloading. So now we have to install this Raspberry Pi Imager onto our laptop. Now it is downloading. So now download is completed. Now we will install this Raspberry Pi Imager software. So this is the page. Welcome to the Raspberry Pi Imager setup. Just click on install. The installation is very simple. So now it is installing the Raspberry Pi Imager. So after finish it will run Raspberry Pi imager. So we will, when we click on finish, so see here we are getting the Raspberry Pi imager software. Here this is the option to choose the operating system. When we click over there, so there is a Raspberry Pi OS 32-bit option, and there is also Raspberry Pi OS other option is also there. This is the Raspberry Pi OS Raspberry Pi OS Lite 32-bit, Raspberry Pi OS full 32-bit. These are the two operating systems related to 32-bit full and light version. Again, Raspberry Pi OS 64-bit and Raspberry Pi OS 64-bit light version also there. So right now in this we are using Raspberry Pi 4, so we will use the Raspberry Pi OS 64-bit. So we have to connect operating system, we have to use the operating system as a Raspberry Pi OS 64-bit. So we will choose this operating system. So now we have to choose storage on which we will install the Raspberry Pi OS. For that we connected a memory card by using memory card reader to the laptop. So we choose this device. Now there is some custom options are there. So we have to click on this setting buttons. Here we have to enable the SSH. The image customization option we will use for this session only. The username is Pi, and the password you can write according to your choice. So right now I am writing the password is Raspberry. So now we can also configure the Wi-Fi. So here we will write the Wi-Fi name. This is my Wi-Fi name, and here I have to write the password. So I will write here the password. Similarly you have to write your password. So I write my password. This is the wireless LAN country. You can select, this is the codes. So right now it is the Asia Calcutta, and the keyboard is the US, and just disable this, enable telemetry. So now I am just repeating again. This is image customization option for this session only. This is the host name, you can use this, you can enable it, Raspberry Pi .local. You have to enable the SSH, use password authentication. The password is that this one. The username is Pi and the password is Raspberry Pi. In my case I am writing. This is the Wi-Fi on which Wi-Fi you want to connect to the board, and here you have to write the Wi-Fi password. And the country setting is LAN country is GB. This is the code of India, and similarly this is the local setting you can change, keyboard setting you can change, and this is this eject media when finished. When it is finished, the media is automatically ejected. And now save it. Now you have to click on the right button. So when you click on the right, so it will erase all the data of the memory card, and then it will install the Raspberry Pi OS onto the memory card. So this process will take time, okay, approx 5 to 10 minutes. It depends on the quality of your memory card also. If you choose good quality memory card, so it will take 5 to 10 minutes. If you choose the average quality memory card, it will take 50 to 13 minutes. So you can choose the class 10 memory card for that. So just click on right, then click on yes. So now it is preparing to write the Raspberry Pi OS 64-bit, because right now I am using the Raspberry Pi 4 for that. So I am choosing the Raspberry Pi OS. You can choose according to your requirement. You can choose Raspberry Pi OS 32-bit. So now it is writing the Raspberry Pi OS onto the memory card. It will take some time, so we have to wait here. So now we will remove memory card from the reader. So now you have to plug your micro SD card to the Raspberry Pi like this, and you have to connect your Raspberry Pi to the power supply. So now the Raspberry Pi is now powered on. So now we have to scan the IP of the Raspberry Pi. For that we have to install a software, that is the Angry IP scanner. So just open the Google and write Angry IP scanner, and then we will install this angryip.org. So this is the IP scanner software we have to install. So for Windows operating system we have to click on Windows installer. So now it is installing the IPs. So now it is downloading. So now we will install this IP scanner software. So this is the welcome to Angry IP Scanner 3.8.2. Just click on next, then click on install. And also run the Angry IP Scanner. Just close it, and here you have to fill your IP ranges. In my case it is 192.168.29.0 to 255. Similarly you have to check your IP ranges, it may be different. Okay, then you have to click on start button. So now it will show us the IP of Raspberry Pi. So we have to check which is the IP of the Raspberry Pi. So this is the IP of Raspberry Pi. It will show the host name is raspberrypi.local, and this is the IP of the Raspberry Pi 192.168.29.145. This is the IP of the my Raspberry Pi that is connected to internet now. So we have to save this IP. So now we will install the Putty software. So for that open the Google and write Putty and open this putty.org. So what is the Putty? Putty is a SSH and Telnet client. This is developed originally by Simon Tatham for the Windows platform. Putty is a open source software that is available with source code and is developed and supported by a group of volunteers. So just click on download Putty. Here for Windows installer, this is the 64-bit x86 according to your architecture. So now the Putty is downloading. So just install this Putty software. Just click on next. This is the location where Putty is installing. Just click on next. Then click on install. Yes, this is the we can say the features to be installed. So now it will take some time in the installation. Just you have to click on yes. Now click on finish. So now under search just write Putty, and then so this is the putty, you have to write here the IP of the Raspberry Pi that you got from Angry IP Scanner. So that is 192.168.29.145, and it is connection type is SSH. So just click on open. So this is the warning, this is the security breach. Just click on accept. So here it is asking login as. So this is our SSH, username is pi in small case letter, and the password that is raspberry. So password is not visible to you. So now we are using Raspberry Pi as a Raspberry Pi terminal onto the putty. So why we are using putty software? Because we have to enable the VNC viewer. Means we can remotely, we want to remotely access the GUI of Raspberry Pi. So for that we have to write sudo raspi config. So here we have to go to the through the keyboard, we have to go to the interface option, and in the interface we have to go to the VNC, and yes, we have to enable the VNC, then click on yes. So now the VNC server is enabled. Now through the keyboard, mouse is not working here, then click on finish. So now we have to reboot. So we will write sudo reboot and then press enter. So it is already reboot. So now we will use our Raspberry Pi GUI onto the VNC viewer. So now we have to install the VNC viewer onto our laptop. Open the Google and write VNC viewer, and this is the first link you have to open, realvnc.com. So we have to download the VNC viewer. So right now we have Windows operating system. So according to our operating system we have to, so we will connect Windows, this is x64, and download VNC viewer. So it is downloading the VNC viewer. Now we have to install the VNC viewer, and language in English, click on OK, then click on next, then click on I accept the term in the license agreement, then click on next, then click on install. So now it will install the VNC viewer into our laptop. Then click on finish. So now in the search write VNC viewer and open this VNC viewer. So here you have to write the IP 192.168.29.145 and press enter. So now you have to click on continue. Here you have to write the password, then click on remember password, then click on OK. So see here, without any monitor you are able to access the Raspberry Pi OS onto your laptop. The GUI of Raspberry Pi OS is now available to your laptop. So this is the process by which you are installing the Raspberry Pi OS onto the memory card. Then by using VNC viewer you are able to get the GUI of Raspberry Pi.